Last night on Reno Rumble, Blue Tongues Nick and Chris were sent packing.
Not really too shocked the boys went home. The finishing was just rubbish.
Yeah, for them to go, yeah, it's better than us.
When the Redbacks delivered some spectacular results and took out the top prize.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Stand a little taller.
It's week 3 of Reno Rumble, and today I've asked the Redbacks and the Blue Tongues to meet me in the Melbourne suburb of Hampton.
So we pulled up and Scotty's waiting in the street again in front of another house. So, yeah, it was quite a cute street. But, yeah, the buzz is starting to sort of kick in because, you know, we know what's in store for us.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Oh, nice and fresh. You sound good. Are you ready to rumble?
Yeah!
Fantastic energy. Good on you. OK, Blue Tongues in this house here, Redbacks, your house is just up the road a dash. House captains, pretty obvious this week. Michelle and Steve, your turn to step up. And Redbacks, I'm sorry, Caden and Jess. Maybe, Jess, you should just take over. I think that'd be the wise thing to do.
We'll see. The team captains, I'm taking this week very seriously.
Unlike every other week or day of your life.
OK, as you know, your judges have already met with the homeowners and left you a wonderful selection of gifts from which you are to attempt to guess the homeowner's brief. In your first 48 hours, each couple will be required to deliver a bedroom ready for judging. And the couple that gets the highest individual score from the judges for the first reveal will win immunity. We all know how important that is. All right, house captains, here are your logs. There you go. That's to help you keep track of your vouchers. And considering these houses are a bit smaller, with each team delivering just 6 spaces, your $80,000 budget. It's a bit tighter. OK, we ready to go?
Yeah.
Fantastic, let's rumble.
Going down, Blue team. We've got a lot of pressure on us this week. We have to fight back to not get any more teams eliminated this week. So it's fight back week for us.
This week, the two houses are not side by side, but down the street from each other.
How good would it be if we started renovating the wrong house?
Good start. Good start.
Oh, it's little.
It is little.
I was getting worried as soon as we walked into the house.
You were worried?
Yeah, I knew there was going to be a lot of work to do. The rooms were pokey.
Oh wow. This is tiny. Oh,
Floorboards.
So, just who lives here? Well, earlier in the week, I sent designer and judge Romy Orwell to meet with our owners.
Hello. How are you? Good, I'm Romy. Hello, Kathy.
Single mum Kathy and her teenage daughter Maddie.
Hi, Maddie. Nice to meet you. I'm Romy.
I've lived here for almost 19 years. It's in pretty original condition.
While the focus has been on raising her daughter, there has been little money or inspiration to bring their house out of the 1950s and into the 21st century.
The house is really ripe for a makeover. I mean, there's no other words to describe it. It's kind of falling apart at the seams. What do you think your overall style is? I mean, if we can't see it here, what is it that you aspire to? What do you
fresh
love?
and clean. I don't know, Hamptons.
Oh, Hamptons. Well, we are in Hamptons.
I don't know, but suits that, but yeah.
And although Mum wants fresh and clean, teenage daughter Maddie has other ideas when it comes to her room.
Are you boho? Are you
definitely
glam rock? Are you
boho? Definitely.
Okay.
With two conflicting styles, it's now up to Romy to streamline the brief for the Redbacks. While Romy heads out to the shops, Santa Fe Ridgeways move in to move out. At the shops, Romy helps them pick up a lush rug, a Hampton-style armchair, a boho mirror and a lamp. that the homeowner has left are the first clues for the Redbacks as to what style they will be working with this week.
That's the lamp.
Yeah. So what is it, Jens? What are we doing?
The gifts were really hard to work out what the brief was because they were all quite eclectic. The armchair was, I guess, had a little bit of a retro touch, and then we had a bohemian mirror and a lamp that was kind of also a little bit eclectic bohemian. So really hard to interpret what it was. None of us could work it out.
So I was watching like Neil Whittaker last night on a TV show. I don't know if you've heard it. It's called The Block.
Yeah.
And he reckons you should always oversize a rug.
Where is this rug going to fit?
It doesn't matter because it always should be oversized.
It's massive.
That's going straight in the master because we're ripping up the carpet, yeah? An oversized rug is the way to go, according to Neil.
Yeah, it's not supposed to fold up the walls, though.
I don't know. It's a bit random.
It is random, isn't
Eclectic?
it? I don't know.
So when Scotty comes in, it's really important to get the brief because that's what we're going by. Everything is by the brief. And under there?
Yeah, it runs all the way and then there's an opening.
Hello, Redbacks.
Hey, Scotty.
How are we? Good. Would you like a brief?
Yes, love one.
Well, have you got any guesses first?
Modern eclectic, maybe?
Try again.
No, I don't.
I don't know.
No idea.
Nan's house.
Bohemian?
Nana's house.
Nan.
No. It's Hamptons. Hampton style.
Hampton
Style in Hampton.
That's right.
Okay.
Catherine, single mum, with daughter Maddie, 15 years old. So she'd like light, bright, Hampton style throughout the house. But Maddie, however, is a little bit more on the boho side. She likes the Hampton style, but she's 15 years old, she's growing up, she's a little bit eclectic, she likes that boho sort of setup. You understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. You're writing that down. Boho, that's it.
Boho.
Well done.
If we become, off-brief or something's not quite right in the space, it could impact on our points.
And ultimately, that's us going home. It's not, try again next week. It's, you're out of here.
Okay, we good? Any questions?
Mate, are we able to open this whole space up?
Absolutely. Hampton style, airy, bright, breezy. That's exactly what she wants.
Beautiful. Done.
Cool.
I like it.
We're on the right track.
Yeah, definitely.
The Redbacks are planning the biggest structural change in the competition yet, removing the central 3 walls to create an open-plan kitchen, living and dining, and therefore sectioning the bedrooms to one area of the house. Sounds pretty simple, right? The only problem is, when you remove so many central walls, what's going to hold the house together?
Our strategy this morning is the girls have been measuring up the rooms, designing an appropriate layout to suit the open plan, and we've just been trying to get this kitchen out so that we can have a better look at the space and make sure that our plan's going to work.
Come here. Ready?
We have really decided to take on a huge amount of work in this renovation because there is so much structural details that we've got to undergo. That's what this competition's about, though. It's about pushing your boundaries, about seeing, what you can achieve in a short amount of time.
We're putting so much pressure on ourselves.
Coming up,
I'm in trouble this week.
down the road, the Blue Tongues are also throwing a curveball when it comes to their brief.
They're like Indian fabric kind of hoof things. Yeah, it's weird.
It's week 3 of our Reno Rumble competition, and we are now down to 6 couples, making it even Stevens. 3 couples on the Redbacks and 3 on the Blue Tongues. This week, they are renovating 2 ex-council homes, both lived in by single mums and their teenage children. And with the red team coming off last week's victory, it's up to the Blue Tongues to pull out an almighty comeback.
New house, new week. New budget.
We have to impress the judges because none of us want to go home now.
Really, elimination is not in our vocabulary this week.
No, it's fight back
win-win
week.
all the way.
Yeah. Team dynamics probably a little bit off. We seem to be 3 individual teams rather than 1 unity. So hopefully throughout the week we can try to combine and make a super team and beat the Redbacks.
Small bath, a small bathroom corner, that's all right. Have a look at this.
Kitchen dining.
Kitchen dining, well, there's definitely a kitchen here.
So we've got a small, this is probably the
Oh,
small.
I love this woman already. Help yourself. Help you bring it on.
The Blue Tongue House is owned by single mum Tara and her son Matt. Just before the rumble started, design expert Darren Palmer dropped by to get the brief.
What have we here?
A half-done house.
What works for you in here?
To be honest, nothing anymore.
Tara and Matt's house hasn't seen a lot of change in a lot of years. It is sort of 50s, there's some random bits here and there. So that's Tara and Matt's house.
For 15-year-old Matt, he would like a room that takes him out of boyhood and into life as a young adult.
It's really kiddie. Okie doke. And Essendon? Yep. Important? Yep.
So, just what is Tara and Matt's style?
Relaxed industrial.
That's very concise. That makes perfect sense.
As Darren, Tara and Matt head off to the shops, the house is emptied, ready for the Blue Tongues. Darren helps out in choosing industrial stools, pendants, and for the relaxed part, these eclectic cushions and mirrors. Ben and Gemma have been allocated $4,000 for their guest bedroom.
Seeing the space we have for our guest bedroom was, a little bit overwhelming because it was quite a small space and we had to make sure that the functionality worked as well as, a good design that was going to put us in front of the other teams.
So I'm pretty sure a bed was 2.1 by 1,500. So you're looking at 1, 2, about here.
Team captains Michelle and Steve have $5,000 to tackle 15-year-old Matt's bedroom.
Not a bad-sized bedroom, is it? This is a 15-year-old boy's bedroom.
Yeah. And look, he loves Essendon. Steve and I have Matthew's room. He's a 15-year-old boy, so we're excited
He's a
about
sports
that.
fanatic and a champion sports player.
Leaving reality TV winners Carly and Leighton to make over mum Tara's bedroom.
It is quite small, isn't it?
We are master bedroom, but we've got $6,000. That's a lot of money.
As I looked at the house at Hampton, she's solid brick. It's a dirty job.
Let's paint these. We need to get rid of this white paint, get them black. Depending on the brief. Depends on the brief. We need to see the brief.
Now it's time for the Blues to open their gifts from homeowner Tara to see if they can work out what their brief is.
Oh, Globe West. This is from Globe West. I love Globe West. Me too.
Nice. Look at that, guys.
Oh, my God.
Uh-oh.
I know. I'm in trouble this week.
Looks a bit industrial.
Industrial. They're like Indian fabric kind of poof things. Yeah, it's weird.
Oh, I hate those cushions. We're going to Bali, guys.
Uh-oh.
When I saw the gifts and tried to work out what the brief was, I just thought, I don't know. I don't understand it completely. And no ideas were flooding in straight away. So I just thought, oh, God, we're in trouble. It's going to be a really, really difficult week.
Scotty. Scotty.
Yeah.
Scotty.
Scotty came floating in on a cloud.
Scotty.
I can feel it.
I've been strangely drawn to this room.
Scotty!
I don't know what it was. I felt someone was channeling my inner self. OK, we got our gifts?
Yeah.
We do, mate.
Now we need your help.
Have we worked it out?
No.
There's a bit of
not at all.
industrial.
I thought industrial vintage, but I'm a little bit, that's what I thought.
Well, you're
Am I
very, very close. It is industrial, but to be precise, relaxed industrial.
I was very, very intimidated by the brief. Industrial relaxed. Industrial's really easy, but the relaxed into it, really, really difficult to work that one out.
A little brief on who lives here?
Yes, we need a brief.
OK, we have single mum Tara.
OK.
Lovely lady. Loves her timber, exposed brickwork, that sort of thing. She is a prolific reader. She loves her books.
Yeah.
And one of her big wishes is to have all those books on display. She also has a son, Matt, sportsman, turning into a man.
He's floating.
He's floating away.
Okay, someone else is channeling me. I'm moving on. Bye.
One decision I do want to make. I want to put you in charge of construction.
Team captain Steve decides it's time to make his first decision, delegating responsibility for the build to Leighton.
I want you to take Whippet under your wing
I think Steve's handballing responsibility there when he's put myself and Benny in the construction manager. So I think he's just trying to handball the workload, so it takes more off of him.
With the captaincy role, it's all about, I believe, it's the art of delegating roles and responsibilities within the team, and that then frees the captain up then to take a step back and to ensure that, you know, the ship's sailing to its destination.
Prediction, I think Steve's going to get a bit much for Steve, and he's going to blow up and make a shambles of it.
Welcome back to Reno Rumble. In just 48 hours, both teams must deliver their first rooms for judging. But with almost half the day gone already, the Redbacks' attention has been diverted to everywhere but the bedrooms. And with immunity up for grabs, it's a risky move.
The first challenge is, again, our bedrooms. 48 hours we have to do them. Jess and Aiden have the master, we have the guest, and Kyle and Cara have Maddie's room, which is the teenage daughter. So that's always the challenge. The first 2 days of the week are always the hardest because 48 hours to do a bedroom is near impossible.
But for the couple we've come to know as the Super Ks, their kitchen needs to be locked off right now.
Day one was so hectic because everyone is waiting for decision and everyone wants that decision now. And no one wants to wait in line. And first things first, you've got to design the kitchen. So there's a team of Freedom kitchen designers trying to work that out with me.
So we've got the fridge here.
Yes.
Then we've got the 300 wide laundry there, and then we've got the laundry there.
Well, we're not going to do a laundry sink, so we're just going to have a kick-ass sink here.
See,
like even the style sink that we had last week would work. Then you have the window guys, the door guys, the wardrobe guys, the plumbers, the electricians, the guys from E&S. Everyone wants your answers right then and there. Like if you left enough MDF there, then got some timber posts.
Look, I can tell when Cara's pushed to our limits. You were stretched. You were stretched.
You know, you have those moments where you think, what am I doing? Why don't I just go home?
You just have to, have a stick and just have to hit people away sometimes. Get back.
And while these two are not ones to underachieve, they have also volunteered to take on an extra room in the house.
We're actually doing the kitchen, dining and laundry because we've taken that in on our own backs to, you know, make that space a bit more usable and incorporate that into the kitchen.
Oh, that's pretty.
You want your bench top to come past and a post be underneath.
Okay, so this is the sort of look that I'm going for at the end of the bench top.
Okay.
So we finally nutted out a design for our kitchen. I've not had one chance to even think about the bedroom because it's all been about the kitchen. And we have to get the kitchen right because it is a central part of the home. And it really is going to open up the space, and if we get that wrong, it's going to cost us a win and it's going to cost our team a win.
But before they're able to open up spaces, first they need their builder on board. Coming off 2 losses in a row, Sharon is returning to Team Redback.
During that first week, I noticed worked really well together. They've come off a win, so they're all pumped and raring to go.
It's going to be a busy week.
Oh, you still discuss that and I'll go through and discuss it with you. How's that sound?
All right, come on. The Redbacks are planning the biggest structural change in the competition yet, knocking out 3 central walls to create a Hampton-style open-plan living and dining. To make sure it can even happen, builder Sharon has called in a structural engineer.
So, only a small job here. So they want this main wall, all the way through here as well, all the way through back here. Right.
I don't think there was any more options than to demolish the inside, essentially gutting this 1950s brick house.
This through here gone, which doesn't leave us much left, does it? Not a lot, so basically, here, all through there, up here.
The brief was light and airy and Hampton style, so there's no other way to do that other than to knock down the wall and have an open plan kitchen, living, dining.
And that back wall as well.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
And this one and that one.
Oh, OK. Well, you're going to pull all of that out.
Down the road, the Blue Tongues are taking a similar strategy of focusing on the big picture rather than their 48-hour room delivery. Team captain Steve has decided that the existing doors should be made over with an industrial weathered look.
Yeah, but I don't want it just a normal standard, like, black. No. I want it with, like it's been rubbed back and it's, you know what I mean? Like that has an effect on it. I think we're better off then, yeah, we stick with the doors we have.
Jeez, you've done that last time. We're happy with that?
Yeah, but we need to mix, we need to make it look like the doors have been rubbed back and it has an effect on it. You know,
I don't know, Dale.
We can. There's paint effects out there that you can do it with. Just to give them an industrial sort of...
However, 5 minutes later, after Steve's executive decision on the doors, Leighton has other ideas.
At that stage, Steve is supposed to be the captain, but it's, once again, Leighton. Leighton's kind of leading the way. Leighton's making decisions, and Leighton's pretty much having a chat with the builder and the tradesman about what's going to happen and how we're going to do it. Again.
I don't take instruction for everyone.
Not at all.
No, I'll be honest there, I'm hopeless.
But I don't either, so maybe we both are good leaders.
That's where we both clash. That's all been hung, freshly hung, the hinges are fine. Yeah. And I don't even need to paint. Just a quick paint on the face. Tuck the architraves off.
What do we do for the remainder? Do we leave them as they are and you try and do something with paint to get that distressed look?
No, don't do these.
Or you just leave them...
Oh, you've got to leave them like this.
All right, I'll leave you to it.
That's what we'll do. Do you want me to tell Wally that or you?
Yeah.
Or tell Steve that?
Yeah, I'll let the guys know.
Okay.
Yeah, tell him he's not touching the doors.
Okay.
So, Steve wants to keep the existing doors, but with a weather effect. Leighton is happy to keep the existing doors, but keep them as they are. And now team captain Michelle has a completely different idea altogether.
Yeah, so Lado does not want you to do anything to those doors. They just change the hardware, you can't paint them.
No, we want to get rid of the doors.
I'll get rid of the doors.
They're not industrial vintage. Look at them. Or why don't we just get really gorgeous wooden, like timber doors?
We can't. I've gone through Corinthian doors and we can't get timber doors like that.
Okay, should we think about layout first
So I'm
and
thinking
then...
effects.
So first of all, do you think we should keep the doors or get rid of them?
So changing original doors was a bit of a catch-22, considering the doors that were in the house look like they're near on brand new.
But again, the captain's the captain, and at the end of the day, he makes the final call.
I went into the kitchen to try and talk about the doors, and then everyone just shot me down. So I got annoyed and I walked out. They're saying that the doors that are in there are industrial, but they're not. In my opinion, the doors are coming out. I just have to get the research. I have to show the team what the doors should be for a relaxed industrial, and then we'll deal with it.
Armed with her newfound evidence, Michelle finally gets her way. New doors.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and do it in aged paint, Porter's paint. Give it an aged look. Yeah?
That's right. You do whatever you like.
Yeah.
Coming up,
Bring up IKEA and ask them how they
Bring up IKEA and ask
Josh and Jenna's multi-purpose brief puts them in a spin.
Are you listening?
And team captain Michelle pulls no punches when it comes to the budget.
At the end of the day, I'm budget sheriff, and if you mess with me, I'll stick you in jail.
Welcome back to Reno Rumble. This week, our teams are renovating 2 ex-commission homes in the Melbourne suburb of Hampton. And over at Team Redback, they are planning the biggest structural change in the competition yet, removing nearly all the central walls to create a Hamptons-inspired open-plan living.
So, which means those 2 beams running across are going to have to be big, quite huge.
Yes.
Builder Sharan is waiting for the final OK from the structural engineer so he can proceed.
You don't want to put steel up, do you? No.
Not if I can help it, mate.
Can you triple up?
I can triple up, mate. I'll do whatever you
there
want.
and double up here.
Double up here, triple up there.
Yeah, just trim out as necessary after that.
Okay. Engineers just told me I don't have to put steel in. I can get our beams here within a few hours, rather than if it was steel, it would have been tomorrow at best.
We know the boys are going to do a great job. We know that they're taking down walls now and they're just going to work day and night until it's done, and we're definitely going to make sure that we do them justice by making sure the rooms are styled perfectly and all the fixtures and fittings are there on time. It was quite easy going into a tile shop and having a play around with some tiles and figuring out how we're going to bring our spaces together so they're similar but not the same. You need to make these decisions so quickly. Having someone there to help you make those decisions is like a dream. Someone other than Josh.
With only 30 hours to go until the first room reveal, Jess is focusing her attention not on her bedroom, but on the flooring in the entire house.
I am trying to find something with a little bit of a white wash.
If you're ready, they can do it.
But Jess isn't the only one making the obligatory first day shop to Carpet Court.
What's your theme? Industrial. Is it really industrial? What's yours? Hamptons. Oh, Gemma and I would have blitzed that one. Gemma, they got Hampton.
Did you really?
Yep. Gemma
That's
and
my favourite.
and Gemma's so good at Hampton.
We found out that the red team is doing a Hampton-style house, and I love Hampton style. That's what my house is at home.
And that would have been so easy. We hate them.
Relaxed industrial.
Relaxed industrial.
Like, you should see the gifts.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy that I don't have... Get to work, you fairies. Ballerinas. I'm pretty stoked that we don't have relaxed industrial. That sounds like a really, really interesting brief to me.
Josh and Jenna are finally starting on their first room, the guest bedroom, which needs to also serve as a study and a chill-out space.
Planning is going not that great. We're just trying to figure out this space. And we need to fit a lot in this room. This room needs to be really multifunctional, so it's really hard. We need to fit a bed, a space, a study. There's a lot, so it's hard. We're both creative and we both like to push our ideas onto each other, and we just need to find that middle ground, and most of the time we can't find that middle ground.
Earlier this morning, Jenna ordered a double bed. However, it's only now that Josh is realising it might not quite fit.
The bed might change, but the mattress doesn't change. Like, the mattress doesn't fold up, so what did you want to do? Jen, because we have to order this, because otherwise we're going to be paying for a mattress again and we can't afford to.
We'll just get a mattress from IKEA.
We're not buying a mattress, we have $4,000.
You have to, because it has to fit that.
But we can order one from Feely, so we like...
But we have to have a double because you can't have a single guest room. We get the results we do usually because we fight it out. We fight it to the death.
Ring up IKEA and ask them how they design their furniture.
Oh, hi IKEA, how do you design your furniture?
That's exactly right. That's how it should
How do you design furniture? So just call them up. Okay, I'll call them out.
I'll take it the idiot.
Okay, I'll ask them. No, it's fine.
I don't know what they're fighting about half the time, but just sort of let them have their way, and then I say, excuse me, guys, you know, can we talk about something else?
Jenna? If you ignore me, Jenna, it's not going to help. Jenna, it's not going to help. Are you listening? It's fine. I can't help you if you're not going to talk to me. I'm trying to talk some sense.
My lovely husband is a nightmare. He does my head in.
It's the end of the first day of the 48-hour challenge, and team captain Michelle has called a team meeting.
It's fight back week, so the budget is crucial. Yeah. So Carly and Gemma and I have been chatting about the budget, and we want to put $20,000 away, and that's our little kitty for trades. The biggest lesson we learnt last week with the budget was Gemma and Ben just handed all the money out and didn't keep a reserve like Carly and Leighton. So we don't want to do that this time. So we're just being a little bit careful this week because last week was incredibly stressful, and we don't want to go through that again. So everyone's happy, 30 grand in the kitty.
So then all of our labour bills come out?
They'll come out of here. We've got 30.
They will probably definitely come out of the kitty, definitely.
And that is
Is that Tyler as well?
Is that Tyler as well?
So do we pay for the tile, or is it Tyler
No.
30?
No, you can pay for the Tyler.
Okay.
Because really we don't need a lot in the bathroom.
No.
But what
Okay.
if we get cabinetry made?
That's when you just go to Michelle.
That's when you go to me and say, can we afford to take that out of our budget? And I go, yeah, I can give you $2 grand. We've got it in there.
Okay.
They need to discuss any purchases with us.
And at the end of the day, I'm budget sheriff, and if you mess with me, I'll stick you in jail.
the second day of the 48-hour challenge, and the couples must all deliver a bedroom tomorrow.
Going into the bedrooms, no one had discussed what they were doing, and we're all just running with our own ideas.
Inside the Blue Tongues house, all three couples have hit on the idea of using timber in their bedrooms to help create the relaxed industrial look the homeowner is after. This week, the Blue Tongues have scored Aiden as their builder. With a perfect record of 2 wins from 2 starts, the big fella is hoping to make it 3 in a row this week. But he reckons that too many different timbers in one house will be a big turn-off for the judges.
Hey, I was just talking to Ben and been talking to Michelle and stuff.
Yep.
Now, you guys are talking about recycled timber.
Yes.
And everyone seems to be.
Yes.
But I think it's probably pretty important to look at using the same timber.
Well, I've chosen what I want, so I'm sticking with what I want.
At the moment, the Blue Tongues seem to be quite disjointed and treating their own areas separately.
Just remember, we've got to still keep going as a team, though, yeah?
Yep, definitely.
Because if we go too solo, we won't win. Just start sharing the images and chatting with everyone, all right?
All right, sounds good, mate.
Okay.
Carly and Leighton scored the master bedroom with a budget of $6,000. They're putting in a grand timber bedhead as the hero piece.
The idea that everyone was using timber in their rooms, I thought was a great idea to bring in the industrial feel, but once again, no one discussed anything. I thought that we'd all get together and work out a supplier, source the same timber and kind of integrate it into the rooms to keep a consistency, but Carly's already 45 minutes away at her own supplier, and I was kind of like, what is this?
I put Ben and Gemma in charge of the guest bedroom with a $4,000 budget. They're planning to knock up a timber bedhead of their own.
I was just texting you this timber that I found.
Beauty. Hey, if you want to shoot it through and have a look, because I was ideally going to be using some reclaimed timber as well.
Yeah, no, can we not? Like, I've chosen it and I'm on my way out there. Can we just roll with what I've chosen or not?
There's no teamwork at all. It's just each for their own, and everyone's trying to undercut each other by going out there to find their own supplier and get their own...
Find something bigger and better.
Their own special winning piece, I guess.
Hang on, let me... sorry, let me send you a picture, but this is where I'm headed.
Shoot a photo through and then I can have a rough idea.
I think it just got too hard for Carly, and in all honesty, I think that was one of those things where I think Carly and Leighton wanted to do something different and do timber for themselves and not necessarily for the team.
How you going, Bubs?
Oh, now I'm getting it for the whole house, is that right?
No.
Yeah, I've been told to get it for the whole house. I don't know why I'm wasting my time.
No, they get their own.
No, Aiden has called me and said, get it for the whole house. Aiden.
There wasn't that much communication going on.
None.
Inside the house this week.
So I'm trying to...
Did you want that timber? No. Who? You don't want that timber, do you?
No, I've got to have something similar, but not necessarily the same. I need a big slab.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because I think Age rang Carl's and said get it for the rest of the house.
But I want something more of a bit of a...
That's what I thought. So I told Carly just get the 4 squares that we're after.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
That's fine, yeah, because Age rang Carl's and said get it for the rest of the thing.
No.
All right?
That's all good. All right. Sorry, babe, go on.
Leighton's just taken over and completely dictating and running it, so... Yeah, I think ideally Carly and Leighton want to... It's all about them.
OK, Benny's getting his own stuff. Benny's looking for his own stuff. All right, because Benny wants more of a plank setup. No. You know, more of a slab, and that's understandable. Depends on what Steve-O wants to do.
Yeah, no, I envisaged slats, like floorboard type.
Yeah.
That's what I envisaged.
With a $5,000 budget up their sleeves, Steve and Michelle are putting together a bedroom for footy-mad 15-year-old Matthew. And guess what? Their big idea is also a timber bedhead.
Are you there yet?
No.
That's cool. I'll give you a call with some measurements. So maybe delivery might be the way to go and you can nick off and keep shopping.
Yeah, so shall I call Benny? Because I was quite rude to him before.
It's fine, Carl.
No, Benny's fine. He's all over it.
Yeah.
It seems like our team isn't a team.
Nah.
At the moment at all.
With 2 timber bedheads already in the works, Ben decides to go to his bedhead plan B.
I've got an idea in my head. Yeah. It's pretty cool. It's really cool, actually.
All right, so now the plan is to expose the bricks under the cement render and make a couple of heavy-duty bedside tables.
Exposing the brickwork, and that's my bedhead.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm doing that. I've got to go something a little bit different. I figured we're on a winner. What could go wrong, you know?
Down the road at the Redback's house, the homeowner's brief is very different. It's Hamptons.
We're given a brief to renovate this home, so it's really important that we interpret that brief correctly and we stick to it.
Part of the brief was to create an open, airy, spacious home. And that means taking out some walls.
This is the hardest week of renovating I've ever had in my life, I think.
The girls usually head off shopping straight away. Every hour of shopping honestly counts.
So where have you got to go today? What's the shopping list for today?
Oh my God.
There's paint there.
Damn it. I look like an idiot.
It's intense. That pretty much sums up how this all works. Yeah. The boys started knocking down the wall and said, how about you guys just stay back for a couple of hours and help us get these bricks out? And we did that, and I know that made a massive difference, just those extra pair of hands.
Is it quicker this way?
Yeah, it's good.
We had a little chain going out the windows.
It was a Redback train.
It was a huge rotational thing. It worked really well.
Yeah, as you can see, it's all systems go. As I said to them, we just need to keep it flowing. We can't really stop. We've just got too much to do.
We all just pretty much ripped in and got all the bricks out of the building in like record time. It was like half an hour or something.
As a team, we work efficiently and effectively to get the rooms done.
I like the way the red team seem to roll with their teamwork and, you know, their budget and how they, yeah, it's not just one team doing a room, they all work together, where I think the blue team lacks that massively.
The girls put in a hard effort with us this morning.
All three of them go so hard,
Yeah, they go hard.
They'd put most blokes to shame, I reckon.
Actually, our girls would put all the blue team's boys to shame, I reckon.
I reckon they would too, yeah.
They would dominate them.
About 24 hours before the bedrooms are due to be delivered, the three blue-tongue couples are all planning timber feature pieces in their rooms. Carly spent the morning going to a recycled timber supplier to get her own materials, but generously arranged for a truckload of options to be brought to the worksite so her teammates can take their pick.
Geez, these are nice.
Yeah. So you've got some old recycled timbers there.
Yep, yep.
And there's some claddings there if you need some claddings as well.
Beautiful. I actually really like that.
Obviously, they had to have the timber shop come to them, and we finally resolved what timber we're all using. It's nice. Only 5 or 6 hours into the day, but, you know.
Thinking going to be using this. I'm going to build up some bedside tables as well as probably a timber windowsill.
As soon as Ben and Steve have locked in their timber choices, Carly decides the way to win immunity this week is to make sure her room doesn't look anything like her teammates, starting with the bedhead.
I know when Carly gets into a bit of a bad place, there's nothing I can say.
Maybe I should just write off this morning. It's an absolute waste of time.
Don't worry about that.
Go with something different.
Okay, if you want to,
I just want to be different to the rest of the house. Like, I want to do my own thing. But now that we've got all this timber coming and everyone's going to have the same, like, it doesn't excite me anymore.
Yeah, we're not going to have the same because I don't believe every room's got to be the same.
We need to work together, and I felt that a few times Carly and Leighton were still had that mentality of trying to be off doing their own thing and their own little secretive wow factor that would give them that bit more edge over the other team members.
Well, the biggest thing is we're trying to do something unique in here, and we don't want it to flow with the rest of the house. You know, we want it to fit the brief, but it's a personal space. You know, and then you get Aiden calling Carly, so all the bedheads have got to match. We don't want that.
Leighton's definitely not a follower. He's a leader. That's who he is and that's how he works.
And that was a hard part of being a captain with Leighton in the team.
But Leighton is not the only team member unhappy with Steve's approach as captain.
Steve's the team captain, and I think he wanted zero responsibility. All he wanted to do was go for a drive and go get some paint, which, let's be realistic, is probably the easiest job on site.
It's just quiet in here, so I needed to just get out of all that hustle and bustle and activity because we need to organise paint for tonight.
While Steve is taking a breather out in his caravan, Leighton and Ben are busting a gut getting the demolition done inside the house.
We've got some brick walls coming down today. So the main wall between the lounge and the kitchen is nearly out. Wall in the back of the bathroom is down. So we've got a hell of a lot of bricks to clean and stack aside for some brickwork we've got to put back in, and a lot of rubble to get rid of.
The Blue Tongues are taking out this wall between the living and kitchen. They're creating a bigger bathroom, turning the existing laundry into a butler's pantry, and moving the back door.
Where's Steve?
Oh, I haven't seen Steve move any rubble, no.
That's right.
Where's Steve?
I don't know, I'm pretty sure he's gone back to the senior citizens joint where he come from. Just gonna go check on his mates, I'd say.
But you're doing all the, you moved a couple of tonnes by yourself with Leighton. Why isn't Steve helping?
Don't know. It's a bit hard to answer that one. We'll find out end of the week when one of us goes home. And if it's us, then hard work doesn't pay off, does it?
Hey, Benny.
Lato, what's up, mate?
Decision man, mate. I'm going to go to last week's captain.
Where's Steve-O when you need him?
The captain's job is to get the best out of people, to understand their strengths and their weaknesses, and to give them jobs and tasks to focus on. That takes away from me having to do them.
Steve's sitting there pointing the finger. You know, so he's not doing a hell of a lot. Just gone, you're in charge of construction, so that's your job. It's like, well, what are you doing? Seriously?
I gave Leighton the role of construction manager. I asked him this morning, I said, have you ordered the skirts and the arcs? And he hadn't.
Yeah, we need all the skirts.
Yes, we need all the skirts, mate.
All right, we need 19
You've got to work out what profile you're going to go for first.
Yeah,
I haven't had a chance to.
So you got... What do you got? What do you want out of your skirts?
It's his job. He's the construction manager overall, not just for himself, but for the whole team. Skirts and arcs, get them.
In contrast to Steve's hands-off approach, Redback captain Aiden is all over everything.
Aiden marched around giving everyone
I got to order
orders.
people around this week, which is pretty good.
Josh, you want to rip your arcs off? Rip your arcs off.
Huh?
Rip your arcs off.
They should be on.
There's an hour to go, and we decided to skirt and arc the bedrooms. So Sharan was outside, and I was yelling measurements, and he was cutting.
Stop yelling and take this piece. Where's this one? 3460. What is it? 3460. 3460.
Josh probably doesn't take my leadership well, no. In fact, after Tuesday, I stopped the leadership.
Next.
Give me a measurement for the corner.
Plane it?
No, give me a measurement.
Just plane it. Take 3 mil off that one.
I've taken too much off.
That'll be right. Just give it to me.
I won't. Put
give
it up.
to me. Just give it to me. Just give it to me.
Right,
Give it to me. Give it to me.
Give me a
Just give it to me.
measurement.
Just give it to me. Just give it to me.
With an hour to go, there's no time to go. Excuse me, can you please cut this size for me? Thanks, mate.
What did you do instead?
Hurry up!
Next bit.
He's got no idea.
Did you cut one wrong?
No, you marked it up wrong.
Cut one wrong.
You've marked it up wrong. Do you want... You got no idea, buddy. You just stick to cabinet making, all right?
3108, yeah.
Never get a job with me, ever.
Someone cut it wrong.
Ever. Would never get a job with me.
Out on the road, Blue Tongue Michelle has spent all day getting everything she needs to decorate an Essendon Bombers-themed room for footy-mad 15-year-old Matt. Last stop of the day is Officeworks.
I'm actually come to get a computer, so can I grab one of those, please? Gotta have a pop of red on the desk. There's only 2 chairs.
Back at the Blue Tongues house, Carly has just returned from her day out, getting decor items to create Mum Tara's master bedroom. But as it turns out, Leighton has a whole new plan for the room. He's decided to remove the cement render from one wall.
I think it was about 6:20, and I saw what Carly had brought home, and I went, she's looking a bit soft. We need to really put some industrial elements to this room, you know, and I went, bugger it.
What have we just decided to do with this room? He's just decided to expose the brick wall, but we have half an hour until it's down, so we need to get it off right now.
Last-minute decisions. It's just crazy. It's exciting, though. It's probably the best I've felt all day.
Oh, you changed your mind.
What?
You changed your mind.
No, I'm just going to do exposed brick, but put the plaster up to about the tendons go. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? So brick and then plaster.
Let me translate. They're planning to remove some, but not all, of the render.
Their original decision the whole time was to have a timber bed head and all was going to be good. We were discussing the idea of exposing brickwork and having some face brick. They said, oh, yeah, that's great. Only up on the last evening, just before tools down, did they go, actually, we like that idea, because we started to expose the brickwork and they saw it and thought, that looks fantastic. Once again, follow our lead, and they go with the exposed brickwork.
Gemma and Ben had decided to at last minute as well. I'd gone in and stuck my head into their room and had a look, and they'd actually taken all the top part down and had a little bit sort of left down the bottom. And I knew they were exposing the whole brick wall, and I just thought, nah, that's what we'll do. That's going to be better. And it's going to look like the wall has actually deteriorated in time and it's starting to slowly fall off. So, yeah, I think it looks good. I like this better. Of course, we'll get those bits up there, but then we'll cut the bed head and still some plaster.
I like it because you bet
Yeah.
That's cool. Looks natural.
Happy? And I can get rid of however much more I want.
Come here. Bang, Bobby.
It would be nice if, you know, we had a bit more of a team mentality that we could all sit down and say, OK, this is what we're thinking. What do you guys think? Can we incorporate some of this into this space and, you know, get it all working? So I think we really need to call a serious team meeting as of today, and everyone needs to pull their finger out.
Tomorrow night.
This has been the toughest reno so far. Physically, mentally, emotionally, you know.
Team Blue Tongue gets stuck in a black hole.
Black is such a great industrial colour.
It just looks like it's all lacklustre.
No, I don't like black doors, full stop.
As Steve and Michelle make a controversial captain's call.
Where was the group decision that was made?
Well, there wasn't that much communication going on.
None.
Why do you have to freaking do it this at 11 o'clock instead of last night?
The captain's decision was final.
The ship could definitely sink this week.
But with the Redbacks in the same boat...
I don't think we've ever been that rushed for time to finish a room.
Put it up! Put it up!
It was just absolute chaos.
Both teams had better take a deep breath. Very shortly, there's going to be nowhere to hide. Because one of these rooms is about to receive a near-perfect score, with a score of 19.5 out of 20.
This we stole.